They don't make salah.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه والتابعين وتابعيهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد, today it is Wednesday, the 22nd of Dhul Qa'dah 1443, and this matches the 22nd of June 2022. And this is our second session regarding the station of as-Safaa, purity or pureness. And we reached a point where the Sheikh was talking about Safa'ul Ilm, the purity of knowledge, and that it will guide the person to his intended goal or intended destination or target by putting in the effort and basically being conscientious. He said that many of those who are traveling on the path, they are walking on that path but focusing on the efforts and the striving that they're doing, the work, the labor that they're doing, while many of them sort of forget the destination, forget the target, forget the goal, right? And he said that he will set an example for us for that. And he mentioned that there are people who came from a faraway land. They look so good, their clothes are fine, and people were wondering at them, asking them about their conditions, and they told them about their country. It's the best land. It has all kinds of fruits, all kinds of good things, and even the king, the leader, is someone who is great, and he's very good to his people who are under him. Those who are around him, the other leaders in the countries, neighboring countries, all of them, they fear that king, and therefore the people of his land are safe and secure from the enemies. And that king, he allows the people to come and see him, right? And that the people like him so much. And that basically now, those people who came, they are basically messengers that are sent by that king. And he is calling these people to come to his land, to join him in his land. So we reached that point when the people heard this. لما سمع الناس ذلك وشاهدوا أحوال الرسل انقسموا أقساما. When the people saw that and they saw the conditions of this group of messengers that the king sent, they got divided into different categories. فطائفة قالت لا نفارق أوطاننا. A group of them said that we will not depart, split away from our land. We will not do that. ولا نخرج من ديارنا. We will not go out of our country. ولا نتجشم مشقة السفر البعيد. We will not put ourselves through the hurdles, through the suffering of this long travel. ونترك ما ألفناه من عيشنا ومنازلنا. And we leave behind what we got used to, what we got accustomed to of our living and our homes. And مفارقة آبائنا وأبنائنا وإخواننا لأمر وعدنا به في غير هذه البلاد. We will not depart away from our fathers, from our children, from our brothers, for a matter that we were only promised to have in other than our country, other than this land. ونحن لا نقدر على تحصيل ما نحن فيه إلا بعد الجهد والمشقة فكيف ننتقل عنه. They said that we cannot even achieve whatever we have now in our country except after putting a lot of effort and going through a lot of hardship. So how is it that we will just move away from that, go to another place? ورأت هذه الفرقة مفارقتها لأوطانها وبلادها كمفارقة أنفسها لأبدانها. Those people, this group, they are of the view that for them to depart away from their homelands, from their countries, is like their souls departing from their bodies. Right? Too difficult. فإن النفس لشدة إلفها للبدن, for the soul, because it is so much accustomed to the body, أكره ما إليها مفارقته. The most hated thing for the soul is to depart from the body, to die. That is, ولو فارقته إلى النعيم المقيم. Even if the soul will depart from the body to endless everlasting bliss and enjoyment, still the soul would hate that. Right? There's the famous hadith that Rasulullah SAW, he said, the one who hates to meet with Allah, Allah hates to meet with him. So Aisha radiallahu anha, she said, is it death? All of us hate death, right? So he told her that it's not that. But the believer, when he's doing good, because he's doing good, when he is about to depart, he see good things. So he wants to go because of the good things he see, the angels, yani. And on the other hand, the disbeliever, he doesn't see good things. And that's why he hates for his soul to depart, because he knows what's coming after is far worse. So that's why he hates for his body, his soul to leave the body, because he knows what's after is far much worse than what he is in already, right? So he hates to meet with Allah, and therefore Allah also hates to meet with him. فهذه الطائفة غلب عليها داعي الحس والطبع على داعي العقل. This group now, the call of the materialistic feelings, the senses, the materialistic senses, حس, the physical senses, والطبع, the custom, the habit, whatever they got used to. These callers of materialism and nature, custom, they reign over, they took over, and they beat the caller, calling it from the wisdom, the aql, the intellect, right? Because if you are wise, you will go, but then you're so much attached to the materialistic life you're living. You're so much attached to your habits and customs that you were raised upon. You don't want to depart. I will have to check something here before we go on, because I think it turned into heat. Bismillah. عفوا. So that is the first group. والطائفة الثانية لما رأت حال الرسل وما هم فيه من البهجة وحسن الحال. The second group, when they saw the condition of those messengers and what they are upon of delight and good condition, وعلموا صدقهم, and they knew that they are truthful, تأهبوا للمسير إلى بلاد الملك. They got themselves ready to leave, to depart to the land of this king. فأخذوا في السير. So they started the travel. They getting ready for that. فعارضهم أهلهم وأصحابهم وعشائرهم من القاعدين. Now their people, family members, their friends, and the members of their tribe who stayed behind, who don't want to go, they opposed them, right? وعارضتهم مساكنهم ودورهم وبساتينهم, even their homes, their houses, their farms or gardens, they are against them too. فجعلوا يقدمون رجلا ويؤخرون أخرى. So they started putting a step forward and another step backward, right? One foot going forward, one foot going backward. يعني they started hesitating, right? فإذا تذكروا طيب بلاد الملك وما فيها من سلوة العيش تقدموا نحوها. So if they remember the goodness of the land of the king and what's involved in there of the comfortable, consoling type of a living, they go ahead towards it. وإذا عرضهم ما ألفوه واعتادوه من ظلال بلادهم وعيشها. And if there goes against them now what they got used to, what they got accustomed to of the shades of their country, the living in their country, صحبة أهلهم وأصحابهم, the companionship of their family members and friends, تأخروا عن المسير. Now they delay the travel, right? They delay themselves from traveling. والتفتوا إليهم, and they turn to them, they turn to these things. فهم دائما بين الداعيين والجاذبين. They have a فتحة on the noon, داعيين, that should be a كسرة there. والجاذبين, the noon has a فتحة there, it should be a كسرة. So he said they are always between these two colors and these two things attracting them. One calling them to go forward, one calling them to go backward. Attractions also. This one is attracting them to go ahead. This one is attracting them to go behind, look behind and go back. إلى أن يغلب, they will continue to be like that. One foot forward, one foot backward. They will continue to be like that. إلى أن يغلب أحدهما ويقوى على الآخر فيصيرون إليه. Up until one of them, one of the two colors, will beat the other, and he will be strong enough to overcome it. يقوى على الآخر فيصيرون إليه. So they end up to that. So either going to the land of the king will win, or them staying back with their families will win. والطائفة الثالثة, the third group, ركبت ظهور عزائمها. He's using a parable here now. They rode the backs of their ambitions. Right? It's like ambitions and aspirations have backs, like a riding animal now, like a vehicle. They rode the backs of their aspirations. ورأت أن بلاد الملك أولى بها. They are of the view that the land of the king, they have more right that they should go there. You know, that the land of the king يعني, have more right to their souls and to their to them in general, right? فوطنت أنفسها على قصدها, right? So they prepared themselves and they established themselves upon this intention of going to the land of the king, because they are of the view that that's their souls and bodies and their high ambitions, all of these actually they deserve to be in the land of the king, not back home. So they are now firm, and they established and they prepared themselves mentally, right, and firmly to go to that land of the king. ولم يثنها لوم اللوام. The blame of those who blame them, it did not turn them back. Yeah. The blamers. How come you leave your mom, your dad, your children, your farm, your fruits, your trees, your good land, your right. They didn't look to this. لكن في سيرها بطء بحسب ضعف ما كشف لها من أحوال تلك البلاد وحال الملك. But their travel is surrounded by some sort of delay. بطء, delay, right? There is some retard, يعني retardedness, right? Going behind, right? تأخير. Slowness, بطء. The travel has some slowdowns in it, according to the weakness of what was uncovered for them of the conditions of that land and the condition of that king, right? According to what they know. If they know more about the land, how good it is and how great is the king, they will be more interested. But if their knowledge is less, is weaker, then they're not going to be as interested. And that's why they slow down, right? Because they don't know as much as they should know. والطائفة الرابعة, the fourth group, جدت في المسير وواصلته. They are really conscientious in their travel and they continued to travel. فسارت سيرا حثيثا. So they are traveling now, حثيثا, a travel that is so serious, so quick, right? So much filled with enthusiasm. Right? They're traveling. This is the fourth group. And he mentioned few lines of poetry here. وركب سروا والليل مرخ سدوله على كل مغبر المطالع قاتم حدوا عزمات ضاعت الأرض بينها فصار سراهم في ظهور العزائم تريهم نجوم الليل ما يطلبونه على عاتق العشرة على عاتق الشعر وهام النعائم. Right? So he puts this line of poetry basically, or these lines describing them, how they go out in the darkness of the night, when the night has, put down its curtains, right? But still, those riding animals are going, dusty or not, it doesn't matter. They are going, and they are having their azamat, their determinations, right? It's as if there is a hadi, hadat, hadaw azamatin. We learned the word hadi, the cameleer, the one who sings for the camels to go faster, right? So they are like that. They are singing for their ambitions and their aspirations, their determinations, so that it will go fast, right? So they continued to travel the night, right? في ظهور العزائم. Now, as he mentioned before, as if those determinations of theirs became like the backs of the riding animals. So they are riding on their ambitions, they are riding on their determinations and their resolve and willpower. And the stars of the night time, the light of the stars, show them, reveals to them what they are seeking. They can see in the light of these stars of the night, they can see what they are seeking, their destination that they are seeking. على عاتق الشعرى وهام النعائم. يعني الشعرى is one of the stars also, right? So they are traveling, they can see, يعني those people, their determination and their ambitions are so high and heightened up. They are focused on the land of the king. They want to go there. He says, فَهَؤُلَاءِ هِمَمُهُمْ مَصْرُوفَ إِلَى الْمَسِيرِ. Those people, their resolve, their willpower, their determination is completely directed towards the travel. وَقُوَّاهُمْ مَوْقُوفَةٌ عَلَيْهِ. Their powers are actually completely dedicated to the travel. من غير تنبه منهم إلى المقصود الأعظم والغاية العليا. However, this determination, without being alert, without noticing the greater objective and the highest goal or target. So they got too much busy with the travel. They are focused, just travel, 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 and more than the destination. Right? They got busy with the travel over the destination. Right? They're more concerned with the work, the physical work they are doing by traveling. والطائفة الخامسة, the fifth group, أخذوا في الجد في المسير. They started being like seriously traveling. وهمتهم متعلقة بالغاية. Yet those people, their ambitions are completely linked and attached to the goal, to the end. فهم في سيرهم ناظرون إلى المقصود بالسير. So they, while they are traveling, they are looking at the objective behind this travel. فكأنهم يشاهدونه من بعد. It's as if they see their goal, their target, they see it from far away. وهو يدعوهم إلى نفسه وبلاده. It's as if they see the king calling them to come to him and to his land. فهم عاملون على هذا الشاهد الذي قام بقلوبهم. So they are acting, they are working based upon this witness that has been established within their hearts. They don't really see the king, but then it's as if they see it with their hearts, that he is calling them, and they see the land. وعمل كل أحد منهم على قدر شاهده. He says that the work of each one of them is according to this witness that is established in his heart. Right? فمن شاهد المقصود بالعمل في علمه كان نصحه فيه وإخلاصه وتحسينه وبذل الجهد فيه أتم ممن لا يشاهده ولم يلاحظه. He said, now, so the one amongst them who witnesses the objective behind the action, he has this witness, right? He is witnessing the objective behind this serious work, serious physical work that he is doing, right? He saw, through his knowledge, right? He had enough knowledge to witness the objective behind the action. He will have sincerity in it, in this work that he's doing. And he will have goodwill. He will try to refine his work as much as possible because he sees the objective behind it. He would have sincerity in it, and he will be also beautifying it, tahseen, beautifying and bettering the work that he's doing, making it better. وبذل الجهد فيه أتم ممن لا يشاهده ولم يلاحظه. And he will put in effort. And all of these, the conscientiousness, the sincerity, the goodwill, the beautification and the betterment, and putting in a lot of effort, he will have that more perfect because he has this witness. His knowledge is, he gained more knowledge, right? He will be having those in a more perfect way than the one who does not have this witness and the one who did not notice it. Right? Remember the group before that, who they are busy with the work, but they're forgetting the objective. These people, they have that knowledge within them of the objective. That's why they are more, they are refining the work better than the others. He said also that those people, this group that realizes the objective. The objective, the destination is not erased from his mind. It's always on his mind. He says لم يجد من مس التعب والنصب ما يجده الغائب. He will not even sense the tiredness and the weariness and the hard work. نصب, right? He's so يعني exhausted, right? He will not feel that like those al-ghaib, those who do not, the objective, the destination is not in their mind, is absent from their mind, is not the same. So those, they will be working and they are very much tired with the work. But the ones who always have the objective on their mind, they don't feel the tiredness like the others. Why? Because it's always on their mind. The objective, the destination is always on their mind. He said, وَالْوُجُودُ شَاهِدٌ بِذَلِكَ. He says, al-wujud, this يعني, universe, this existence that we live in, right, testifies to that. He's gonna give us an example to clarify this point, right? The point between the one who is working hard but too much busy with the work, and the other one who's working also hard but the objective is on his mind. Yani, it's simple, someone who's fasting, right? So we have to fast. We have to be, strong to fast this day. We have to. But يعني, paradise and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not like, he's not on his mind that much. And the other one who is also doing the same work, hard labor, but then paradise is always on his mind. The reward and Allah Azza wa Jal is always on his mind. This second person, he will go through the fasting far much easier than the first one. Right? Exactly like those who, I say it many times because it's a reality. Coming to Salatul Jama'ah, those who come, and it's like, it's a big burden, yani. It's a big, but he feels, it's a headache. Maybe if he travels, he breathes, I don't have to go to the. He feels like that. It's like a break because he traveled, he doesn't have to go to the Jama'ah in the masjid, right? While the others who are, Allah is always on their mind and the reward and paradise, they will even, they feel sad that they are traveling. They wish they are around so they can go to the masjid. Big difference between the two. Right? So he says the example that he is going to give us from the wujud, the real existence that we are living in. He says, فَمَنْ عَمِلَ عَمَلًا لِمَلِكٍ بِحَضْرَتِهِ وَهُوَ يُشَاهِدُهُ. If you do a job, for a king, and that king is in there, watching you, he's in your presence, you are in his presence, he's looking at what you're doing. ليس حاله كحالة من عمل في غيبته وبعده عنه. His condition is not like the condition of the one who is working while the king is absent and he is far away from him. وهو غير متيقن بوصوله إليه. And he is not sure that the king may come and arrive to the place where you are in. Right? That's the case. If you are doing a job, right, for your boss, right, and the boss is right there looking at you, and you see him watching you, you definitely are going to to do as best as you can, right? Your breaks will not be as many breaks. You will only use, maybe even you will not take a break to show that right, how serious you are. But if he is not there, he left. And he left to another place. So today you will not see him. Maybe you will take more breaks, or you're not going to be as as they say, on your toes. You will be far much more relaxed, right? difference between the two, big difference, right? ويصحح له صفاء هذا العلم همته. The pureness of this knowledge, يعني knowledge that you are seeing the king and the land of the king, this knowledge, you are sensing this, يعني you are in the state of ihsan, يعني right? You're worshiping Allah as though you see him, right? For surely if you do not see him, he truly sees you, right? This knowledge, it will rectify, it will correct, right? Your intention, your determination, your ambition, himma, right? It will make the himma more solid. This desire, this intention, this determination, it will be far much more solid because of this pure knowledge that you have, right? ومتى صحت الهمة علت وارتفعت. When your ambition, when your aspiration, when your determination becomes sound, it will become higher and it will rise up. You will have far better determination and will, right? Strong will. فإن سفولها ودناءتها من علتها وسقمها. Because why would someone have a low ambition, low determination, right? It is low and lowly, right? Because it is sick and it has a problem within it, right? Your determination, your willpower goes low because there is something wrong with it, some sickness. Huh? وإلا otherwise فهي كالنار. This determination, this will that Allah put in the human being, right? It resembles the fire. It is like the fire. تطلب الصعود والارتفاع ما لم تمنع. The fire, the flames of fire, it will always seek to go up, high, higher and higher, unless there is something to put it down. You pour water on it or you put a cover on it, so the flames will go down. This ambition and determination, aspiration, willpower, right, within us, Allah created it like that. It's like a flame. It always seeks to go up higher and higher, unless you suppress it, right? وأعلى الهمم همة اتصلت بالحق طلبا وقصدا. The highest of ambitions are the ambitions that are connected to the truth, the true God, subhanahu wa ta'ala, طلبا وقصدا, seeking it and desiring it, desiring the truth, the true God. وأوصلت الخلق إليه دعوة ونصحا. And it not only your ambition, your aspiration, your willpower, not only seeking to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. It's not only that. The higher ambitions are the ones that even they try to have the creation, al-khalq, try to make the creation reach also Allah. How? Da'watan wa nusha. They advise them and they invite them to worship Allah, the true God, subhanahu wa ta'ala. وهذه همة الرسل وأتباعهم. This is the resolve, this is the willpower, this is the ambition, this is the aspiration of the messengers and their followers. The messengers, that's what they are focused on. They seek to worship Allah alone, and not only that, they want to invite everybody else, invite them and advise them to seek the same, to turn to Allah. This is the job of the messengers and prophets and their followers. وصحتها بتجريدها من انقسام طلبها وانقسام مطلوبها وانقسام طريقتها. He says that how do you have a sound sound willpower, sound determination. How can it be sound? It can be sound by it being freed from being divided in what it is seeking, in what it's seeking, right? So it's not divided; it's united on the what it's seeking, the objective. وانقسام مطلوبها. It should not be divided regarding what it is seeking, right? So it should be united in seeking, united upon what it is seeking, and وانقسام طريقة. It should be freed also from the way being divided, right? He says بل توحد مطلوبها بالإخلاص. The one that it is seeking, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is unified subhanahu wa ta'ala by sincerity. And the seeking itself, right, it should be unified بالصدق, right? طلبها بالصدق. You should be truthful in the way you seek Allah عز وجل. وطريقها بالسلوك خلف الدليل الذي نصبه الله دليلا. The way also should not be divided. It should be just one by walking on the path behind the guide that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala set up as a guide. لا من نصبه هو دليلا إليها. Not what just you set up as a guide to it. Right? So once again, your intention should be focused on the seeking. You should not be busying yourself doing other than seeking the truth. And you should be also focused on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself, right? يعني always Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in your mind, and in the way you seek it, you should be truthful in that, right? You should have truth, you should be truthful in that. And the way, it should be behind the guide that Allah set up, the messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not just one you set up for yourself, right? You follow what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala set up for you. He says وَلِلَّهِ الْهِمَمْ. He says, he wonders now, he's amazed at the different ambitions and the willpowers that the people have. ما أعجب شأنها وأشد تفاوتها أشد تفاوتها. How wonderful, how amazing their affairs are, and how much they vary, how seriously there is a difference between the different ambitions. فهمة متعلقة بمن فوق العرش. You have someone whose ambitions and willpower is linked and attached to the one who's above the throne subhanahu wa ta'ala. وهمة حائمة حول الأنتان والحش. And you have people whose ambitions are just going around the dirts, rotten things, and garbage, places that are where the people throw waste, right? People are busy with high, you want to be in paradise, you want to be with the النبيين والصديقين والشهداء والصالحين, you want to be where Allah wants you to be, you want to see Allah in paradise. And there are those who are busy with just the lowest things in this world. People vary a lot in their ambitions and aspirations, and right. والعامة تقول, he says, the common people, the laymen, general folks, they say قيمة كل امرئ ما يحسنه. The value of every person is what he is good at doing. Right? That's what the people will say. if you're good to do, يعني, if you are a medical doctor, that's your value. If you are a handyman, that's your value, right? If you're a teacher, that's your value. That's how they look at it. The general folks, they say the value of every person is what he is good at doing, what he is able to do, right? والخاصة تقول قيمة كل امرئ قيمة المرء ما يطلبه. The special people now, they have a higher way of evaluating, right? So they say قيمة المرء ما يطلبه. The value of the person is what he is actually seeking, right? What he wants to be, that's his value, right? That's his value. Is actually his himma, يعني, what he wants to be. That's how they evaluate him. And he says the special of the special now, khassatul khassa, right? They say so the general folks, they say the value of the person is what he is good at doing. الخاصة تقول قيمة المرء ما يطلبه. The special people, they say the value of the person is what he is seeking, right? وخاصة الخاصة تقول قيمته همته إلى مطلوبه. The special of the special people, they say the value of a person is actually his desire, his ambition to what he is seeking, right? There's a difference. So the first one, what you're good at. The second one, what you're seeking, what you want to do, right? The special of the special, they look at you is not only what you are seeking, how high your willpower, your ambition is to achieve that. That's how they that's how they evaluate you. If you have a high ambition, you are very high to them, right? Because you could be 3 people or 10 people could be seeking the same thing, right? Yani just the physical world, 10 students, they want to be medical doctors, right? But some of them, the aim is not just a medical doctor. He wants to be he has ambitions that he wants to be the best of the best, right? He wants to. They're not the same. Some people, they will just graduate and just be somewhere, and the others want even higher and higher. They have ambitions that are so high. So this is how the special of the special people, this is how they will evaluate you, according to your strong willpower, right? Strong desire to in seeking what you want to achieve, right? So he says, if you want to know the different levels of ambitions, right? مراتب الهمم, فانظر إلى همة ربيعة ibn Ka'b al-Aslami. Look at the ambitions of Rabi'a ibn Ka'b al-Aslami. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to him, Salni, he told him, ask me, what do you want? I give you. فقال أسألك مرافقتك في الجنة. I ask you to be your companion in paradise. Right? صحيح مسلم. وكان غيره يسأله ما يملأ بطنه أو يواري جلده. Other than him, and this is found in the seerah, they will ask Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that food that will fill up his tummy, or a piece of clothing that will just cover his skin. The difference, there is a difference. There is a difference in ambition, right? And he says, look at the willpower, the himma, the ambition of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he was, it was presented to him the keys to the treasures of the earth. فأباها, he refused those. ومعلوم أنه لو أخذها لأنفقها في طاعة ربه. It is well known that if he took the keys to the treasures of the earth, he will spend all of it to please his Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala. فأبت له تلك الهمة العالية أن يتعلق منها بشيء مما سوى الله ومحبه. But his high ambitions refused. His high ambitions refused that he should be attached to any of these worldly things that are other than Allah Azza wa Jal and the things that he loves. وعرض عليه أن يتصرف بالملك فأباه واختار التصرف بالعبودية المحضة. It was presented to him that he be a king, right? He refused that, to have the full يعني dominion to يعني manage and deal as a king. He refused واختار التصرف بالعبودية المحضة, and he chose that he will only deal with mere worship and servitude to Allah Azza wa Jal. فلا إله إلا الله خالق هذه الهمة. لا إله إلا الله. This is, he says it as an amazement. The one who created this high ambition. وخالق نفس تحملها. The creator of a soul that is carrying such ambition. وخالق همم لا تعدو همم أخس الحيوانات. And all glory be to the one who created also ambitions and determinations or willpowers that cannot supersede the ambition of the lowest of the animals, right? Humans, all of them are humans, but some of them are having high ambitions, and some of them, they're attached to the low desires of this universe. Now he's referring this to a hadith in Sahih Targhib wa Tarhib, when Jibreel came down to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he told him, أملكا أجعلك أم عبدا رسولا? Should I make you a king or a servant, a slave servant who's a messenger? So he was given the choice, alayhi salatu wasalam. Allah sent Jibreel to tell him that. And Jibreel told him, قال له Jibreel told him, تواضع لربك يا محمد. Humble yourself for your Lord, O Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم. فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, so Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم said, بل عبدا رسولا. Rather, a slave servant who is a messenger. يعني ملكا نبيا, like Dawood عليه الصلاة والسلام, like Sulaiman عليه الصلاة والسلام, were prophets, but then they had, even the wind is under their control. Come here, go there, right? He can manage. He says to this, come and understanding the language of the, how they were given things, that the technologies of our time, right? Can they, those who think technology reached the peak, can they bring the Arsh, the throne of the Queen of Sheba, in a in a blink of an eye? Can they do that? Can they do it? Right? They still didn't reach that technology. Right? So this is so he was told, you want to be a king, a prophet and a king, or a worshipper, a slave servant of Allah, and a prophet, a messenger. So he chose a messenger who's even when he was praying alayhi salatu wassalam, and the shaitan, one of the shayateen, Khinzab, his name, came to him, and he was going to put fire, and like that, he alayhi salatu wassalam, he was able to put him down. But he was saying then afterwards, were it not for the dua, right? رب اغفر لي وهب لي ملكا لا ينبغي لأحد من بعدي. He was controlling the jinn, that Sulaiman, right? So he said, were it not for the dua of Sulaiman, I would have tied this shaitan, this jinni, I would have tied them to the tree or to the pillar, so the kids of Medina will just play with him, right? But he didn't do it because he wants to be عبدا, a worshipper of Allah Azza wa Jal, رسولا, a messenger for Allah Azza wa Jal. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. We'll stop here inshallah.